I hope you had a good day today. I had a good day today. And what I realized is, today I worked with somebody who was so appreciative of the fact that she could call me last minute, which I don't necessarily love that people call me last minute, although sometimes it happens. And she was able to get a creation done on her for an event tonight, and what was cool about it was that she allowed herself to be transformed into something she had no idea what could be possible, which took courage and trust, and that I could allow myself to engage in her trust enough to be able to produce something. And she texted me later saying something about having her dreams come true. And really what was interesting about looking back at it, and when I was talking with guidance about whether I should talk about the experience or not, it wasn't so much about the experience, but maybe more about what it represents for people. And I'm fortunate and honored in that I am asked to really produce archetypes for people on them visually somehow. For her it was enchanted mystical goddess warrior. And I really do love working with adults and face and body art, specialized makeup, because there are so few times that we allow ourselves to be surprised. We tend to want to control something, anything, as much as we can. And when people work with me, I insist that if they have any discrepancy about my work, that they make sure that they do their research. If I'm at a live event, I ask them to look around. Is anything that I've done of your unliking? Is there anything that I've done that I've already produced that you would say, oh God, that's just horrible, which is fine. But if you can't, then you have to trust. You have to trust. And many times when I do adult events, I have to make it up on an intuitive level even more so than I do with children, because children typically show up and they know what they want. Teenagers, from adult up to adulthood, have no idea what they want to do most of the time. Most of the time. And so for that category of people, I ask for adjectives. Give me adjectives. Give me an idea. And then you have to trust. Or you can get off the chair. You have those two choices. But you can't boss me around. Which means you cannot take control, assuming you know anything about what's happening on your face right now. And that's really why I love that industry, part of that industry, because it reminds the adults, A, that they need to play. It also reminds them that if they can't play, how much control they really need in their life. And usually when they decide to release that control, decide to reach into that part of them that still has imagination and that still has playfulness and curiosity, they get it. They really get it. And so it's so cool. It's so cool. And so part of this experience reminded me of my youth. And so when I was putting all this together today with guidance, what I and as I'm talking it changes, so I have to ask for some kind of containment. It's an interesting thing in regards to how you see yourself and how how much we disallow for that to change. So if we've created a certain comfort within ourselves to see ourselves a certain way, and then we give our trust to someone else who can change that, it stirs up some stuff in people. And it's different than getting a haircut, which the trauma is a little bit different in that your hair only takes so long to grow. Well, this is washable. And yet, the biggest fear is what are people going to think about me? What are they going to say about me? What are they going to think about me when they see me with this stuff on my face, right? Even though they're curious enough and interested enough to be in line and watch, and some of them watch a little bit longer than others, and I don't know what I want because I have, mom of 3 years plus. I hear all conversations that go on around me, and some. And I will answer them while I'm painting and say, think of adjectives. Because adjectives, for some reason, help people get out of their need to know what it's going to look like, or need to know what to ask for. So, I got to fulfill my archetype as the superhero, which I actually get to do a lot. Because I get those calls in the face and body painting industry where other artists have canceled, changed their mind, not shown up, etc. I don't understand it. Couldn't even fathom doing anything like that. However, it does feed my superhero archetype. And I like to da-da-da come in and rescue the day. However, that also leads me to this interesting conversation with guidance about fulfilling your dreams, the interpretation of your dreams, and spiritual purpose, and the interpretation of spiritual purpose. In the point that I'm in my life now, I don't really remember any of my dreams, which I thought it was weird. I can vaguely remember wanting to do art, and I vaguely remember wanting to perform. That's it. So interesting. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know if it's not a big deal because I'm happy with all the things that I'm doing in my life. I don't know, but it did remind me, because I know I'm weird, but it did remind me of considering, because something came up in a feed that I was looking at that said, can you make the dreams that you were dreaming of, can you make your dreams come true now in your life today? And it's interesting because you really have to stop to think, when you're a child, your reference points of how to fulfill your dreams can be very different. This lady that I was working with today had dreams of an industry that she wanted to do, and she ended up not going into that realm. And so I was thinking, well, what do people do with their dreams? Well, part of it is about interpretation. So when you're younger, you may see things in a very literal way as far as things that you dream about that you would want to do for your life purpose. And it translates similarly into your spiritual purpose. It does seem to me, as I'm hearing it, that what you dream about and your spiritual purpose are definitely similar. They go hand in hand. And some more intently than others, for sure. So, if you have a dream that you ended up not fulfilling within yourself, in your life, whether that's a career or something you wanted to learn or whatever, right? That's when at a certain age the bucket list becomes important. And again, why do we wait for something dramatic to happen before we end up doing these things, right? There are times where the life is in a particular place, whether that's like in the heart of rearing your children, where, yeah, you're going to have to set things aside because you already created this. This for a lot of people is a dream. And so you are fulfilling a dream. And there are times where one dream supersedes another, and then there's times where you can reintroduce other ones. And certainly so in the midst of having a family, sometimes those dreams will need to be reevaluated because of the circumstance. It may be a circumstance of injury or something like that, where the dreams may need to be reevaluated a little bit in the interim. And then when that happens, it's time, and once that time frame is done, it is time to look and see how you evaluated your dream and how you can make it possible. So, if you misinterpreted or had limited interpretations of what your dream and spiritual purpose are, then take a look and see if there's, now that if you're a little bit older, had some experience behind you, see what those can look like now. And similar to karma, if you have a karmic debt, if you believe in that, it is unnecessary for you to necessarily pay it off like in 100%. You can pay it off and pay off the lesson at a 10% expression. And maybe we'll do karmic debt another time. But the point of bringing it up now is that percentage that you may have envisioned your dream looking like, that percentage may have changed. And so how can you express it at 10%? Or how can you express it at 60%? If 100% is maybe not attainable or has a longer term to implement, then you start in smaller ratios. It's the same with your spiritual purpose. If your spiritual purpose needs reevaluating, or you don't know what it is, look at what your dreams were, if you can remember. Memory, childhood, pretty much no memory banks for much of that. not in any depth. Superficial stuff here and there, yeah, but not in any depth. And I still don't know why. It may be the concussions. I don't know. Brain damage. Or simply, it doesn't matter. I don't need to. I'm on my path and I'm good. I'm working it, so everybody's good with that. They don't have to remind me of what my dreams were. So your challenge is to, and this is really, let me backtrack. The consideration of this challenge is really to, one, evoke an aspect of yourself that maybe feels dormant within you, and give it time to be recognized, and or you're really unhappy with where you are and you want to reevaluate what you're doing. If you're happy, content, and you love where you are, rockin', and if you're looking for to add a new adventure, add a new quality, add a new je ne sais quoi to your life, then you can take on this challenge and it might assist you. The challenge is to look back and see what your dreams were when you were younger. Doesn't matter how old. Somewhere in elementary school, I guess. Dreams are usually identified at that point between, 5, 4, and 12-ish, pre-puberty. Because that's when all hell breaks loose. So, at that point, there's already some indicators of some dreams, fantasies, etc. And see how they coincide with what you sense is your spiritual purpose. because they can totally relate together. If you just knew you wanted to help people, that was your instinct indicator, then it doesn't really matter how you do it, as long as you're doing it, right? That's fulfilling a dream. You know, when we have big, grandiose dreams, like I want to change the world peace and all that sort of stuff, that reevaluation needs to be done so that you can gain some sense of how to actually accomplish that, because otherwise it's an open-ended dream and your life will never be fulfilled, because that aspect will never be fulfilled. So we definitely don't want to continue feeding those more grandiose things. We need to bring them down to bite-sized pieces, and that's the goal of this exercise. And see how you can implement it now. If it's implementable, to what degree, give it some time, give it some calendar time, you know, say I'm going to spend time on this for the next 5 months, 6 months, whatever it is. When my daughter was finishing college, I reminded her as she was graduating that her system is now set up in this kind of quarterly sessions. And so it's okay to go ahead and utilize that. So sometimes that's an important part of exercises, is to have them in a sort of calendared time frame, not just this week or whatever, but like this video vlogging, it was the entire month. And I kind of see 2 more coming up of something. So that would, you know, 3 months-ish is kind of a semester. So that's your challenge for today. And I only have 2 days left, and I'm not really sure how I feel about that. But we'll see what information I get. If I get some early notice, or if it's all just going to be thrown at me at the end. We'll see. So my lovelies, take a look at your dreams. Take a look at your archetypes. Take a look at your archetypes are kind of those titles that we carry. You know, oh, she always is the mother role, or you know, he's the fix-it guy. It's those little kitschy phrases that people may call you, or you call yourself. Yeah, I'm the one that comes and saves the day. So that's like a superhero archetype. Okay, so dreams, archetypes, and spiritual purpose. And see what you come up with. Let's have fun with it. And if you want to be an enchanted warrior, princess, goddess for the day, look me up. You can do it yourself too. It's all good. And allow yourself to play. A, it'll keep you young. B, it keeps your biology happy and your cells happy and healthy. And why not? I wish you much empowerment. I'll see you again.